The Uncle Shay Shay character. 'Cause he didn't come on the show doing that with the black and mild and the do-rag and Hennessy and all that stuff.
When he first started it?
Yeah, he didn't come on with that at first when he first got on the show. So when all that came about, what you think about that too?
Okay, it's better for you guys to respond to that than me, but I was still very close with Stephen A. at that point, and he did not love it.
No, yeah.
Okay, and I defer to you.
Nobody did, so
we'll
leave it there.
Man, oh man. Look like the honeymoon phase is over between Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith, and now you're coexisting and something that's already running, and Shannon Sharpe knows its power. You're dealing with different dynamics now in power when you have someone who has another platform outside of your platform, and it's not the end-all be-all. And that's what was going on. I know Stephen A. Smith was retweeting the numbers compared to Skip's Undisputed few months back. Him and Shannon were having laughs and giggles about it. Wasn't doing it in public, but you could see the likes back then. You could see all the things on social media transpiring. And, you know, it was kind of ha-ha, look at Skip. And Skip did some of that to himself, and rightfully so, right? But now, once the honeymoon phase ends, the real marriage begins. And that's what you're seeing right now between Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe. I did a video a while ago talking about some of the jealousy after the Katt Williams interview. Let's look back at those clips just a little bit, and we'll get into what happened.
The first order of business that I'm going to do before I get in to the specifics of everything that they've had to say is I'm going to say this. It's become problematic. And somebody has to say it, so I'm going to say it. It's become problematic for black people. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. We're starting to look really, really bad. And some would say, Stephen A., what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean start? We've been making ourselves look bad for quite some time. That now has Black America taking sides and looking at one another with an elevated level of skepticism. And so as a result of that, I have to answer questions because people have literally asked me, Stephen A., what do you think about how Shannon Sharpe interviewed Katt Williams and Monique? What do you think about the pushback or lack thereof? Why give somebody the platform to come out on your show and say all the things that they've said?
Around that time, many people were saying that Stephen A. Smith was just jealous because of the views. We saw him bring on his own comedians and try to even speak around what was going on around that interview, as everyone else was. But they talked about him piggybacking off of the content that he was criticizing and saying was looking bad for the black community. But I wanted to show that, and also wanted to show what Skip said, because he said that Stephen A. didn't really like the Uncle Shay Shay character at first. So there was some underlying issues there that maybe Shannon wasn't privy to until Skip said it. But I just want to set the table. Now let's look at what happened today.
When it Stephen A., can I ask you a question? Because you're trying to run out the clock. I get you. You made your point. You're trying to run out the clock. Do you like coming to work and having a headache every day you come to work?
Excuse me?
Stephen A., do you like coming to your job every day and having a headache? See, you talking about what you think you know. One voice, one sound. When you trying to win championships, you have one voice, one sound resonating. And you and I both know Bill Belichick is a bigger draw than Jerry Jones. That's why he has coaches that he can overshadow. He couldn't overshadow Jimmy. He couldn't overshadow Bill Parcells. He can't overshadow because those guys won before him.
Your argument goes right out the window when you mention championship and the Cowboys.
Now you know more football. Go ahead. Okay.
Hold on. Come on, Shannon. I never said I know more football than you. Stop that. I've never said that.
But Teddy and I are trying to tell you, we're speaking from first-hand knowledge about guys with this type of personality. I get it. You love Jerry. There's a lot to love about it. But Teddy, can you please explain to this man, when you're trying to win championships, you need one voice talking for everybody. Not Jerry talking, not Bill talking, and then the coach, because then know this. Jerry is going to take care of the players because he's going to overshadow Bill's authority.
Now, remember that Club Shay Shay episode where Stephen A. Smith and Shannon never vowed to get that way with each other? I didn't pull that clip, but there's a whole interview on Shannon Sharpe's channel about that. And I'm not saying that as if they aren't imperfect human beings. I'm saying you can never say what you would do, um, and really just disparage someone else who's been in the shoes that you're about to be in with the other person before you're in those actual situations. Because we saw it blow over. Now, Stephen A, he somewhat kept a cool head in that, but you could see Shannon's really emotional um, about the game of football and still has some of that player in him, which is good, for the show. It brings the insight and everything. And I don't even think this is necessarily the worst thing that can happen. I think my point is it's easy to criticize Skip Bayless, until you in Skip Bayless' shoes. And Shannon Sharpe was going in on Stephen A like Skip Bayless. That's what happens when you get used to each other. Like I said, the honeymoon phase is over. Y'all been coming to work a few times. Shannon renegotiated his contract. I guess they already met his conditions, or maybe Shannon gave him a handshake deal. Gonna see what Stephen A get, because I believe not Stephen, but I believe Shannon is gonna want the highest dollar amount to keep him there. I don't have no inkling on that or no information on that, but why wouldn't he, right? Because I have my platform that can directly compete with yours. I be getting views like Pat McAfee on some of my clips, and hey, you know what I'm saying? I got what I got. And that's what Stephen A is starting to understand. You saw what happened with Monica McNutt. She blew up even more after her spat with Stephen A. Smith, but Shannon Sharpe in a different situation had nightcap going already, had his spat with Skip, but was already a larger than life personality when he was a free agent. Really started creating his own content, got that up under him before he came to a network, did his partnership with The Volume and Colin Cowherd, and so he's going to speak his mind much, much more than people you've had in the past. Gone are the days of Stephen A. Smith just being able to say, hey, you're fired. He can't walk. Like, he claims he has all the power on First Take, but if he goes in and tells his bosses he don't want Shannon on there no more, they're going to frown upon that. So you don't own that show, which Stephen A. understands to some degree because he got his own thing, right? So again, I don't think this is the worst thing. I think this happens in passionate arguments, but I just thought it was interesting that we hear again, right? It's nice and fun to talk about Skip. I'll never work with that man again and all that. And everything's cool with you and Shannon. You're going to Colorado games and really just chopping it up. And I ain't saying y'all ain't cool now, but he is a personality to deal with, and everything ain't gonna go smooth like that. So we can't point at Skip and pick at him and say this, that, and the third about him when Shannon Sharpe is emotional like this and can get stirred up really quickly like this over a Dallas Cowboys argument, So that's what I want to say, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.